So now, if you're a regular member of the church, you know that we've just been on a little trip, some of us. So Lou and myself and Kathy and John and Sharon Cunningham from St Michael's School have just been over to Kenya to Red Tribe, which is one of the charities we support. And if you look on the wall, we've got a new map on the wall over there, which shows you the sort of the approximate location and purpose of each of the mission projects we support as a church. So we have just been over to Red Tribe in Kenya, quite close to the Tanzanian border, quite close to, I say close, it's 5 hours to Narok, which is the closest other town. And it's quite a tough place to get to. It's a Land Rover drive, etc. And for the last 20 years, we have been supporting Red Tribe, which is a lovely Christian charity working in that part of Kenya. And we have partnered them over the years with, we funded the purchase with others of a big 4x4 Land Rover. We helped fund a school over there, a medical center, a little bit of a farm, and various church projects in that region. And it is the most amazing, glorious, beautiful, growing, thriving project, actually. And we've had last 10 days with the school, Red Tribe Academy, in that part of town. Now, if you're a member of our church, you'll know our mission statement, which is being transformed in Christ, bringing hope to everyone. So a part of how we are and who we are and what we do is we stretch out beyond ourselves, bringing hope, being a part of and partnering others around the world and trying to be something helpful, useful, resourcing to them. So that's who we are, and I think you'll see, well, that's our mission statement up there. We've got slide 2, please, Keith. Is there a slide 2 to go up? There we go, and you can see the rough location of Red Tribe. Now, if you were to go up into the hills above where we are, in the far, far distance, you'll be able to see Kilimanjaro. But actually, it's a fairly remote place, isn't it? So we've had a lovely partnership with them for 20 years now. Been amazing. And we are in the process here of just bringing to you a little bit of a feedback, a little bit of report of what we got up to. And part of my joy, actually, is going there and 20 years ago, seeing children go into the academy, the top performing school in the region, tiny little 2-3-year-olds. They have been through the academy, they've been off to university, and they've come back and are now teachers in the school. So it's been a lovely sort of 20-year journey program with them. But there's more to come, isn't there, Lou? Tell us more.
There's so much more to come. And we just wanted to sort of take a bit of time this morning to tell you a little bit about what we got up to, what we learned, what we saw, and to bring us a bit of a challenge within that as well. So this was my first time visiting Red Tribe, and it was mind-blowing, inspiring, heart-breaking, heart-warming, all of the feels all at once. But we want to tell you some stories, and the first of which was just our journey there and back, really. As Steve mentioned, this place is incredibly remote. When we arrived, the rains had come early to Kenya, and our trip from Nairobi out to Red Tribe was fairly exciting. We weren't sure whether we were going to be able to land this little plane that we were in because they couldn't actually get to the runway across the flooded river to find out whether it was possible to get there. We successfully landed and then had to jump into the back of a tractor to cross the river, and we got completely drenched. Our luggage was completely drenched, and it was completely memorable. We thought that was the end of the adventure, getting to and from Red Tribe, but little did we know that our exit strategy was going to be even more exciting because there was yet more rain, and we had an 8.5-hour Land Rover ride back to Nairobi. As you can see, the rivers were, well, yeah, fairly full. This was a stream normally, and in some parts of the journey, the road had been washed away. We had to be dragged across there by tractor. Now, this was all quite an adventure for us, but actually for them, this is normal life. This is their route to the market. This is how supplies get in and out, and it was just incredibly confronting, I think, really, just how remote they are and how desperately they need resources and for these the structures to work well. I think for me as a first timer at Red Tribe, I was so struck by the strength of love and feeling between their organisation, the school, the church, and our little church here in Southfields. They are so keen for a partnership going forward with us. This is not about us kind of helicoptering in and dumping the cash. They want to work with us. This is about mutual blessing between us and them. And the other thing that kind of, and there were so many things that struck me, but one really lasting one is that meeting the beautiful people of the Maasai, who by our standards have so little. I mean, it's just amazing how little they have, but their capacity for joy is overwhelming, immeasurable, incredible. I think if we could just go back a slide. This is the Red Tribe staff team who, have been faces on a website for a little while. But up there, we've got Peloa, we've got Nonti Nana, we've got Brenda, we've got Duncan, Junior, all these wonderful people who are there doing the work, who are our friends and who want a friendship and a partnership with us here at St. Michael's. I wish we could just bring them here by some clever magic, that you could meet them all. They're so wonderful and so glad to be associated with us. One more thing from me, briefly. I had the great privilege of meeting some amazing Maasai women. So that's a picture of this lady who let us come into her house. I say house, it's a hut made of sticks with mud and cow dung. She has 9 children. They all live in this house along with the animals. They cook in the house. She had a big sort of plastic water barrel canister by the front door, which she had gone to go and fill that morning. She'd carried it on her back. I kid you not, I couldn't get it off the floor. And I am not weak. She was so generous, so kind, allowed us to ask lots of questions, and then at the end asked if I would pray for her. I mean, what an incredible privilege. We also met these amazing women who do the beadwork at Red Tribe. I think that might be the next slide. There we go. So this is another part of Red Tribe's business. These women are mainly widows. They have all had incredibly tough lives. They have lots of children between them who they have to support. They make this beautiful jewellery, which they make by hand. Lots of you will have seen the jewellery before. And they sit together every afternoon in the shade, and they make the jewellery, and they sing. And they sing Bible verses so that they can try and remember them. I was asked to lead a Bible study for these amazing Maasai women. Again, a huge privilege. I have never wished more that I could speak their language, because Bible study, as you will know, is more discursive. We send a question out, we talk about it, and it comes back. And they were chattering away. I have no idea whether they were saying, "Who is this strange woman?" or if they were having an amazing discussion. But we built a lovely friendship. And actually, what we have done is we have, apologies if you're squeamish, we've sent them a goat to be slaughtered and cooked, because so often they will not have had many opportunities to eat meat, firstly, but goats are sort of there for celebratory moments. They're often cooked by the men, and then the women rarely get a look in. So Kathy and I have sent a goat for the ladies with the very expressed rules, no men. And hopefully they will feast on what is quite an acquired taste.
It's an acquired taste, and that's actually happening this week, I believe. They're having a bit of a barbecue. We sent them a goat, not from here, I hasten to add. We purchased in the rock out that way. And there was a lovely moment when the ladies sing, and Kathy and Lou would spend a lot of the day sat on the ground with them, gently bobbing along. And then Kathy and Lou decided to sing them a song in return as well, which was just met with raucous laughter and a degree of confusion. But we loved it anyway. One of the things we did was then go to one particular church on a Sunday morning, because it's always good to go and worship in the country you're in and in a local location. And here we are, this amazing. Now, this church was an hour and a half by Land Rover. We didn't have enough space in the Land Rover for everyone because we were taking others with us. So a big hats off to John and Lou in particular, because they spent an hour and a half through some fairly rugged terrain, holding onto the roof rack on top of the Land Rover, which was a fairly, if we think you've got a tough journey to church on a Sunday morning, you ain't. Not by any stretch. But the amazing thing was, it took us an hour and a half by Land Rover. Some of those children then would have walked from that same place to school on the Monday morning, and that can be a 5-hour walk for them. But that is their determination to get to school. And so big hats off to them as well. I was really blessed by the church, because if you're a member of the congregation, you'll know that actually a year and a bit ago, I was not particularly well, and news of that had reached the Red Tribe Project and those surrounding churches. And one of the first things that I encountered in this remote, impoverished little church was conversation with the women and the men saying, "Oh, we've been praying for you. How are you?" And I've got so much. They have so little, but they were fervently praying for me. And I was really deeply blessed by that. We spent the Sunday morning with them. I spoke a little bit. Kathy preached a little bit. Lou and Kathy led some prayer ministry. It was a really lovely, lovely, blessed time to be with them. But I was so blessed that actually this is the school we're going to talk about in a minute is a Christian school strongly linked to all the local churches around, and you can just see the networks and the connection. We had some lovely video. You'll see it on our Instagram account. Give us a follow if you want to know more, of a lot of singing and dancing in church on a Sunday. And in school, a few days later, we showed some of the kids these videos, and they're all excitedly spotting their friends in other classes who were a part of those choirs and those singing groups. It was just a lovely bit of connection which felt very wholesome and godly. Anyway, they're praying for us. They pray for us fervently every week. So grateful to them for that. Amazing. Yeah.
So we'd love to tell you a bit more about the school, because we had 5 days alongside the school, which was wonderful. There are 350 children in this school. When we say school, we're talking about the most basic sort of buildings that you can imagine. They have no electricity. They have, in some classes, they have one textbook per class. So when they're learning about volcanoes, they have to form a queue to look at the picture of a volcano. But these children are amazing. They are incredibly resourceful. I mentioned the joy earlier. In every class we went into, we're working on having a really strong link with our Church of England school, St. Michael's, over the road. And we took them little videos of the kids from St. Michael's waving and saying hello. They were enraptured. And then we showed them videos, and we asked them to sing us a song. Without hesitation, with no embarrassment or stage fright, they all stood up and sang, which just was wonderful. I think we might have a little video of one of the classes singing to it. Oh, So the joy is real. They are beautiful children. We were definitely curious to them, and once they'd warmed up, they certainly...
you cannot stop them smiling or singing or jumping.
Indeed.
They are remarkable.
Yeah. But one of the things we would love to talk to you about today is the girls' dormitory. So as Steve mentioned, a lot of these children walk so far to get to school, and so most of them board at school Monday to Friday. They sleep on their classroom floors. So they clear the desks out, they pull these mattresses in, and they sleep on the floor. Now, that's obviously not ideal. They also don't love that. Oh, here's a video.
Quietly, because there's 2 classes going on either side of us. And in between the classes is just a cold, hard floor. And this is where all the children sleep overnight for the weeks that they stay here. And these are their mattresses. And as you can see, they've been here for many years. They're very torn, they're very dirty. And we would dearly love to come up with a scheme where we were able to provide newer mattresses, cleaner, more comfortable, just nicer for the kids.
Welcome.
Lou, a typical bedroom, let's just choose one. Out of this one, it's got a bit of light.
Come on
in
in.
you go.
So this is a typical bedroom with a very beautiful view, but not much else. As you can see, the beds are very basic, the mattresses are thin, but they're a heck of a lot better than what they are dealing with at the moment. There's a place for them to study, and there's a door that locks.
And crucially, I see a desk and books and things. That is actually for one of the teachers. That's their home working preparation space as a teacher. If we were to go to the next one along, in here, you'll see a very different position altogether. So a small room, about the size of a large cupboard. If I can open this up. There we go. 4 pupils in here, and we need light, table, toilets and water, safety, and a mattress to sleep on.
And that, of course, is the other thing that they really need for this block, is toilet and shower facilities, which don't exist at all yet. So in order for the children to be not just safe, but also clean and be able to perform their ablutions, that has to be built. And there is a space ready, site set, but it just needs some cash.
Over to you. God bless everyone. Bye.
Bye. Importantly, the reason that they need this girls' dormitory is because it is just not safe for girls to be walking to and from school. Unfortunately, there are many types of predators, both animal and human. It sadly is not unusual for these girls to be taken, molested, raped, and sometimes disappear altogether. So this accommodation block was actually completed in the last year. It is standing woefully empty because they don't have mattresses or power, although we're getting to that. And this place could provide somewhere that is comfortable, somewhere that the girls can do their homework, but also somewhere they can be safe. And that is really the most important thing.
I love that actually. One of the benefits of us going out there is, as a community, they don't ask. They're trying long-term to resolve some of these issues themselves, but of course they barely have a bean amongst them. In fact, last year the crops failed, and so they've had to dip into their resources, sell their crops this year as a cash crop. So they've not been able really to either fund children at the school. It's a few beans a year. And actually, as of next week, I think they're actually running out of food. But we have another plan for that, so that's not for today. But it just gives you an idea of the fragility of existence for them, how thin that gap is between existence and not. But one of the joys of going out there is that we actually see and can see on their behalf, what do you need in order to flourish a bit better? And something as simple as a mattress answers those questions. There was a recent bridge built over the local river by the Red Tribe Project, simply because when it rains, and it's rainy season at the moment, probably about 6 or 7 of the pupils drown every year, just trying to get to school. That's been solved. What we now need is for the parents to feel they can leave their children in the school Monday to Friday, Otherwise, they walk home 3 or 5 hours journey each way with the risk of being taken either by a wild predator or other unsavory predators, which is a very real risk and presence for them and happens. Over the last year, I was talking to Henny, and he was saying that probably, Henny is the guy who runs the project in-house, and he was saying, I don't pull my punches here, probably about 6 kids were taken by hyena in the forest they walked through. Do you know, that breaks my heart. We can do so much, so easily to solve that problem for them. Very little goes a long way. So our simple appeal this morning, having come back on this project, on this trip, is this. We would love to buy the mattresses they need. They have a few, but they are filthy and disgusting. To be able to put that dormitory into use, to be able to employ a night guard, to be able to, who will patrol the compound, etc., and see those children stay there from Monday to Friday each week. It's not just about a comfy night's sleep. That would be about saving lives also. They're incredibly resourceful. Some of these children already speak 3 languages. They got Swahili, they speak a version of Maasai, and their English is rolling ahead. They're bright, sharp, clever, intelligent kids, and we can do so much to help solve their appetite for improving their lives. So our plea is this. Will you, I know we've already sent the bags around, and that always gets a few pound notes, etc., but will you buy a mattress? A mattress is £25. Then we need to find the money to get that shipped in from the local town, Narok, which is about a 5-hour lorry ride away, and that's a £300 round trip fee. But we need 300 mattresses? Let's say 300, because they'll always get destroyed or taken or spoilt in some way. That gives us enough to work with, gives the school enough to work with. 300 mattresses, £25 each. Here's the question. How many mattresses could you buy this morning? Now, I'm going to be quite straight on this. We are really clear about how we as a church sort of describe what it means to be a part of St. Michael's. We love that you're all here. We all love that everyone says, oh, I'm a part of St. Mike's, I'm a part of St. Mike's. This is how we think you're a part of St. Mike's. You are praying for the church, the activities of the church, the projects we support. You're serving in some way. You're on a team somewhere. You're welcoming, giving out coffee, etc. We're not a passenger. We're not a consumer. We're a part of an active, collaborative community. And most importantly, we are giving. And we're giving generously. Because a lot of what you give, all of what you give actually, not only goes to support the kids and youth activities we have here, and we have a lot going on, but you'll see on the wall over there, it gives us the ability to steward really well with all these projects we support around the world, and that includes Red Tribe. So what we would love is this. If you are a regular member of the church, if you are a member of the church, you'll know if you are, because you are praying, serving, giving. That means you're already playing your part. Then would you this morning consider a little extra gift in this moment and say, well, look, I can afford 1 mattress, 2 mattresses, 4 mattresses, or even more. Or if you're here and you've been coming for a while, but you're not yet a member, you're not doing those 3 things, praying, serving, giving, then this is your chance to jump on and say, well, I'm going to do that. I'm going to start a direct debit. I'm going to join a team. I'm going to become a server. We put on the screen there a QR code. And if you get your phones out, you can scan that QR code, and it'll take you straight to the ability to give online digitally. How many mattresses would you like to give? And as we leave at the end, at the back there, right in the middle by John, John's going to give a big wave. John, there's where John came on the trip with us. He can answer any question you've got. But more importantly, in front of you is a giving tablet where you can just say, do you know what? I'm going to press the button for 1 mattress, 5 mattresses, 10 mattresses. I'll leave that entirely up to you. God loves a cheerful giver and a generous giver. This is our moment, friends. as a community to respond creatively. So in this moment, just so none of us feel isolated or left out, why don't we all get our phones? So, and whether you do this or not is entirely up to you. And if you're a visitor, friends, I'm grace to you this morning. Please don't feel pressured into this. This is for people who are part of our normal congregation, but don't let us stop you. Get your phones out, and why don't you point your phones at the screen? Now, you can be pretending and not do anything about it. That's fine, but let's provide a bit of comfort to everyone who does want to do it. Scan that QR code and say, Lord, in your name, I'm going to transform that community. I'm going to do something meaningful. Thank you for my comfy bed, the amazing school my kids go to. Let me be a part of spreading that wider afield. Anything you want to add, Lou?
I think you've said a lot wonderfully well. We can solve this mattress issue today between us very easily, just like that. And that would be a wonderful aim for us to get these girls off the floor where the snakes are and into beds where they are safe and warm. And if we overshoot, great, because they need to build a boys' dormitory as well. So, as Steve was saying, there are projects with Red Tribe that have small cost to us comparatively and huge impact. And that is why we want to partner with them. But because we will be so blessed by everything that they're doing and the fact that they're praying for us as well. So £25, what can that buy you? A bottle of house red, the takeaway, 6 lattes these days. It would be amazing if we could just do this morning and get it done.